South Africa condemns violence in Libya and Concord rules on expropriation case. From a news desk, I'm Lebo Changela. Government has condemned any form of violence and the doctrine of imposed regime change in Libya. This is the word from government spokesperson Jimmy Manyi, who is briefing the media in Pretoria on the outcome of this week's cabinet meeting. Recently, South Africa, a temporary member of the UN Security Council, voted in favor of the air exclusion zone over Libya, which has enabled airstrikes under NATO command. However, President Jacob Zuma has since led South African protests that NATO had used the UN resolution to pursue its own interests. Zuma on Tuesday said the NATO-led use of force had undermined Africa's peace efforts. Manyi says government is sticking to its guns.
Cabinet endorses the manner in which the Department of International Relations and Cooperation (DIRCO) has been dealing with various other matters, and Libya in particular. South African government will always approach this matter in concert with the AU and in the spirit of multilateralism. The government of South Africa condemns any form of violence and the doctrine of imposed regime change.
The Constitutional Court has ruled that a section of the Constitution does not require the amount of compensation, and the time and manner of its payment must always be determined before an expropriation. The Hafiji Family Trust applied to the court after the eThekwini municipality expropriated their properties as part of a project to canalize the Umgeni River in 2004. The applicants challenged the validity of the expropriation, arguing that they should have agreed on compensation first. Justice Johan Funaman delivered the judgment.
Determination of compensation before expropriation will generally be just and equitable, but in those cases where it must be determined after expropriation, it must be done as soon as is reasonably possible. Eviction following expropriation may not take place unless agreed upon by the parties or in the absence of agreement under court supervision.
Authorities in the Southern Cape say the process of identifying the victims of yesterday's fatal bus accident in Knysna has been completed. Teachers from the Renendale Primary School were used to identify the bodies of the 14 learners and the driver who were killed when the bus plunged into the Agasa Drift on its way to school. PD spokesperson Malcolm Poiki.
And I can surely say that we've finished that process. We're just verifying the names of the victims. Then we will release the names later on today.
And the Transformation and Anti-Racism Rugby Committee has launched a scathing attack on Springbok rugby coach Peter de Villiers for the lack of transformation in the World Cup squad. Committee chairperson Assad Borad says de Villiers' claim to have transformed rugby is laughable. Borad says the World Cup squad does not represent the majority of the South Africans. He says rugby remains largely untransformed and unrepresentative. Barad says the squad is no better than other teams selected and coached by white coaches.
He's claiming he's transformed the team, which is complete farce. So definitely, there's a feeling across the country, especially amongst black rugby clubs, players involved in club rugby and township, that this team is not theirs. It's been a consistent team for a long time, but I think the patience is wearing thin.